Well, good afternoon and welcome to the Saturday Sports Special. Yes, I am Michael Bascom, your host, chatting with you live from Minneapolis in Minnesota this weekend, where, as you know, so much has been happening, but that's for another discussion. We turn our attention to sports, though. And as you know, the attention this weekend obviously will be cricket. Cricket in the Spice Isle, Grenada, as West Indies take on South Africa in the first of five T20 internationals at the Grenada National Cricket Stadium in St. George's. So, fans, I assume that vaccinated fans would have gobbled up all their tickets and by now should be getting ready to head off to the National Stadium to see some exciting cricket T20. As you know, West Indies obviously looking for some redemption, albeit in the T20. They lost the Test Series 2-0 to South Africa in St. Lucia, and now the attention will be on the T20. What we'll have today, we'll have some excerpts of the pre-match discussions with the vice captain. There is also the coach, and there is also the captain. So the vice captain, Nicholas Puran, the coach, Phil Simmons, and the captain, Karen Pollard. Also, we'll be hearing from coach of the West Indies women's team, that's Courtney Walsh, and lead selector Anne Brown-John, as they spoke to reporters today, Saturday, ahead of series against Pakistan. That's the West Indies women's in a series against Pakistan women. Okay, and for the first time, you'll have the women's team, and there will also be an A team as well. So lots of cricket for both the men and women's cricket teams in the Caribbean, and a lot of cricket for those who follow in cricket, no doubt. So first, let's hear what's. By the way, we also have an official from South Africa. I have to just check whether it's the coach or the captain who will be speaking also and ahead of the game. But first, let's hear what I think it's let's go on to the West Indies women's officials, West Indies women's cricket team officials. That's Courtney Walsh and Andrew John as they spoke to reporters in St. George's. That's today. Not sorry. The coach Phil Simmons and Karen Pollard spoke to reporters in St. George's yesterday, but is in St. John's, Antigua. The Courtney Walsh and Andrew John actually spoke.
Good morning, all, and welcome to the press media interaction with lead selector for women's and cricket West Indies, Mrs. Anne Brown-John, and head coach of the West Indies women's team, Mr. Courtney Walsh. You all have 20 minutes with them, so please keep your questions as short as possible, and then we'll have a rotation. Raise your hands, mute your mic as you go along. Raise your hands and I'll call you in the order, okay? You can go ahead. Okay, Sudarshan, go ahead.
Yeah, hi. So I wanted to ask the selector, the thought process behind leaving someone like AC Fletcher out of the squad, out of both the squads.
He asked.
As well as Shemaine. Am I audible?
Oh, actually, Fletcher is not available for this tour. She's not available.
Like any injury, or is it personal issues? Like, could you elaborate on that, as well as Shemaine Campbell's omission?
Right, they are both unavailable for personal reasons, so that's why they are not in this tour. It's not that they were left out; it's for personal reasons.
Thank you very much. Moving on to Lennox, and after Lennox will be Akeem.
Hi, morning, coach. How are you doing?
Morning, Lennox. I'm good, thanks.
Morning, morning.
Morning.
Yeah, man. Coach, I just want to ask you, this Pakistan series here, pretty much what are you looking forward to? I mean, coming off a tour of England, the team didn't bat so well, so I'm thinking that batting is one of your issues that you're kind of pinpointing. But what are you specifically looking forward to for this tour?
Well, I'm looking for all-round performances, all-round improvement in all departments. The England tour has been a while. That was way back in last September. We have had 2 camps since then to sort of put some stuff together. And it's focusing now on aware and consistency, especially in this camp, and then with the Pakistan tour in a couple of days' time to see how well we have sort of improve and get ready for international cricket again. Obviously, a little bit of rustiness might be in, but we're trying to put it aside as early as possible and try to improve in all departments. As you said, the batting might have been not up to par, but I think the all-round cricket has, has not been up to par as far as we are concerned, and we're very happy with the opportunity to have so much cricket being played where the A team will also be on parade, but for the senior team, we'll be focusing on that level of consistency and to improve in all departments.
Yeah. One more question. Is it too early to say that will see your brand of cricket being imparted on this team?
Well, we want to play good cricket. I don't know if you want to call it my brand, but it's West Indies brand. I would want to play. But obviously, the thought process and the type of cricket I want to play is to go out and win as many games as possible. And that is what I'll be sort of echoing in the hearings of the coaches all the time. But also, to back themselves, well, they're a lot more confident, and they have adapted to that pretty well so far. And we want to play a brand of cricket that will carry people to be proud of and give the selectors a headache when it's time to pick a team. That's what I'm asking them to do. Make sure that when it's time for selection, we're competing well, and us as selectors have a headache, because if that happens, it means we're going to be in a healthy position.
All right, Coach, thanks.
No problem. No problem.
Team, you can go ahead, and then Brandon will follow.
Coach, what has been some of the stuff in the camp that would enthuse you to give confidence that this West Indies women's team can do well? We haven't seen them obviously due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but you had them in a lot of camps. Just trying to figure out, what are some areas you saw good improvement on that would enthuse you that we can really do well in this series?
Self-belief, believing in themselves a little bit more. Obviously, not playing enough cricket is going to take away some of your confidence, because if you're not playing, you're not sure how you're going to perform. But I think in the camp, it has helped us to come together, had some good practice sessions, some good practice matches, and some good scenarios. So get your feel as things, so you're not going to be as sort of rusty as beforehand. But everyone knows your main test is when you're in the middle, and then when you're competing. And Pakistan is not a walkover team. No team in international cricket is. So it's going to be a good test for us. But I think self-belief, that level of confidence, level of consistency, and the awareness of what's going on, what we're trying to focus on. Don't want to overcrowd them with too many stuff. So 3 or 4 pointers to focus on, and let's see how they go.
And just one other question, Coach. Fitness, it has always been a big issue, talking point to the women's team. In these camps, how have you really worked to address that, and how has it improved over the camps that you've had?
Well, we have had some serious discussion with them about the fitness level. And they, the players themselves, you have to give them credit, have bought into it, they believe in it a lot more, because all the coaches, we know if you're not fit enough and strong enough, then the skill set is going to suffer. So we have had frank, open discussions, and that level has stepped up. There's improvement in all the testing that they have done. The fitness level is getting better. It's not where we want it to be as yet, but it's heading in the right direction. The scale is going up, which is what you want. And once we get up to where we can be or should be, then that's one hero we don't have to worry about too much, because it's just maintenance then. But yes, we have done a fair amount of work on the fitness aspect of it, and with that will have to continue.
Great. Thank you very much, Akeem. Brandon, you're up next.
Hi, good morning, head coach and lead selector. So, Mr. Walsh, can you talk about the progress shown by Shabika Gajnabi since she started the camp, and to head selector? What would have influenced Gajnabi to be selected as a vice captain?
I'll let the lead selector go first. For that.
Right. We have been looking at a lot of these players for many years, since they have been under 19 and coming up. And the 2 persons that we have selected for both captain and vice captain were captains of their under 19 teams. So we looked at both Boyce and Gajnabi since then, and we saw not only leadership qualities, but people that we could start to groom for the future. So therefore, we had no hesitation in choosing them for the captain and vice captain of this team. That we consider to be all part of their developmental process. But as I said, it started since the under 19.
Anything else from me?
Thank you. No, coach, you can go ahead now and talk about our progression, Gajnabi's
Our
progression.
progression has been pretty well. One of the reasons why we sort of, get her in that leadership role, she's been around for some time. She showed promise in all departments, and she has the potential to develop into a good all-rounder. Her batting has really come on a lot more in this camp, so we're focused on that a little bit more as well. And I think she's now believing in herself a lot more, or in her own skill set. And I mean, the ability that she has, it's as a role to play within the team. And as I said to her this morning, just this morning, I had a conversation with her, is that we're not looking at her short term, we're looking long term, and she has the potential to develop in a genuine all-rounder. So it's work in progress, and she's been working pretty hard and just trying to understand the role. That's one of the things we're trying to get the players to do, to understand the role that they have to play and how they go about executing.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brandon. Sudarshan, you have another question, or that's it for you?
Me that same. So, Courtney, I wanted to know about Deandra Dottin. She was in wonderful form against England last year, but fitness has something that has hampered her throughout her career. So, what have you seen of her, and how is she doing in the past few months?
She was injured, so it's not a fitness. Deandra is one of the fitter athletes we have around, so her fitness was never really a concern, but she was injured. Injury has been a concern, and she had an injury. We're trying to get it perfectly right, so she was sent back to get some more stuff done. Everything was done, and she's back in the camp with us in training. And I'm hoping that form that she had in England can continue. She's with us training very hard, working, and we just can't wait to see her go again. And we're happy to have her back with us, and hopefully the same form that she left off in England will continue. But as you know, Deandra is a special talent as well, and when she's around, she gives the team that extra lift. And we know how explosive she can be, so we welcome her back and just can't wait to see her go out and get amongst it and get her confidence level up as well.
Coach, there's somebody who's not in the
Will she be bowling also?
No, she won't be bowling right now because of the injury that she had. She started rehab bowling, so to speak, but she won't be bowling in the matches right
now. Okay, so I have a question that was sent in via WhatsApp, and coach or selector, you can answer it, but I think it might be for coach. Specifically about the A team, a lot of responsibility will be rested on the shoulders of those players who have had exposure to international cricket. Have they been prepared to mentor those experiencing this level of competition for the first time?
Yes, they have. We had a couple of meetings with the full squad, the full group, and lead selector also had a chat with them in terms of, there's a group that has been around for some time but not express themselves at the senior level. And we will expect them to take the lead. They might not be captain and vice captain, but to take the lead in terms of mentoring some of the younger ones who's around, and also shows what they have. It's a golden opportunity for them to play some cricket and to sort of put pressure or get in readiness to step up to the plate for the senior team as well when that opportunity comes. So it's a win-win thing for us, and everybody is on the same page in trying to get them to understand what they need to do and how to go about it.
Akeem, you can ask one more question and then we'll wrap up after that.
All right, Coach. Given the aforementioned, you spoke about the lack of cricket within the region. What would you gauge as success? I know you want to win the series, but sometimes the victories isn't everything. But what would you most looking forward to get out of the series?
I mean, as I said, first and foremost, you want to win the series, but that's not the be-all and end-all. A level of consistency, performance, and improvements in all departments is what we're going to be sort of using as my yardstick. Obviously, winning is contagious, and you want to get that momentum, and it gives confidence. But we're going to be looking at performance and some of the targets that we might have set and to see how we go about it and the approach of the game awareness has to come into play. So, yes, we want to win, but it's, as you rightly say, it's not the end of it. For me, is the consistency of performance and the brand of cricket that we want to play and how we go about the approach to get that done with a build up, looking down the road with the World Cup qualifiers coming up, to ensure that we can qualify for that and then go into the World Cup and do the best we can.
Okay, thank you very much for joining us this morning. I will send out the recording of this press conference shortly via WeTransfer. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, all.
Thank you.
Okay, there. So there you had it. The coach of the West Indies women's team, Courtney Walsh, and the lead selector, Anne Brown John, as you call Anne John Brown. She's a former West Indies women's captain, and she's now the lead selector for the West Indies women. Recall the first question actually that was asked was about Grenadian Afi Fletcher, and they both indicated that Afi is unavailable for personal reasons. As you recall, Afi is not with the team, and she is unavailable for selection due to personal reasons. So, in case you wondering, yes, it was Afi Fletcher of Grenada. That was the question that was asked. Not being in the team, and both the captain and the lead selector indicated that she was not selected due to personal reason. So she was unavailable for selection due to personal reasons. So that's it in terms of the West Indies Open. And as you heard, while the interview was going on, the girls actually in the background, I assume they're going through their paces, they're in the training session, and you're hearing the girls chatting and laughing and enjoying themselves in the background, because the conference was actually at the ground, right? So again, the attention. So lots of cricket. Not forgetting the women. Yes, the attention is on the West Indies men's, the T20 international, but the women's, they also have their bit to play, and West Indies women, they have been doing pretty good in some circles, and I don't think they get the sort of recognition that they deserve, and as some may say sometimes, the women probably are doing better, they are faring better than the men. But just let me let you know that the Cricket West Indies Women's Selection Panel named the West Indies Women's Senior and A-team squads for the T20 International Series against Pakistan women. The West Indies Women's Senior team will play 3 T20 internationals against Pakistan women from June 30, that's in a few days' time, to July 3rd, with the West Indies Women's A team also playing their historic first ever 3-match T20 international series on the same dates. Antigua's Coolidge Cricket Ground and Sir Vivian Richards Stadium will host the series, with the A team matches preceding the senior team matches in back-to-back doubleheader fixtures. So, that's good. Back-to-back doubleheaders, and they will be at the Coolidge Cricket Ground and also the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium. So, lots of cricket. The women have their turn. So when there's not men's cricket, there's women's cricket. So all those who have been complaining about not seeing cricket, I know you always want to see cricket and want to see wins and victories, but the fact is the teams are playing cricket, okay? And if you are a West Indies fan, you support. There are times you will lose, sometimes you will win. And I don't get the impression that a lot of folks who are demanding wins and demanding victories have really experienced a West Indies team that back then. They're just hearing about the West Indies team was basically unbeaten for so many years, and everybody just getting into this thing that their team must win. Their team must win at all odds. And if they don't, they believe that skipper must be dropped, the coach must be dropped, and everybody, as far as I'm concerned, every one of West Indies fan is a selector, and if you ask everyone, they will give you a different team. Okay, if the selectors, that's why they are the selectors. You only watch the game on TV for most of what it's worth. The selectors are there. They're seeing the players. They are speaking to the players. They are, speaking to coaches, the captain, and we must allow the selectors to do their job, okay? And it's not a situation where every time a team is selected, someone believe that they have the best team available, and and I don't know. It's sometimes, as yes, I agree with you. That finally some cricket for the women team. Well, it's afternoon in my um, part of the world. Renel Joseph, thank you. Yes, and the women, they are getting some cricket and some attention for the cricket. For well, and I hope, and my hope also, Renel, to your point, that just as how the men are getting, you know, television exposure, that a women can get that sort of exposure as well. They're be doing pretty well, and I think it's only right that we give those women some exposure as well, and not just the men. They're already getting big bucks, and I think that the women should get a taste of stardom as well. But thank you for your comments, Renel Joseph. Yeah. So the next, so as I told you, that we also try to have it was actually the David Miller, who became South Africa's most capped T20 international. Well, he will be today when he takes the field for South Africa. And there's a short interview with David Miller that will come up later on. But first, let's go to Nicholas Puran, the West Indies vice captain, and he spoke with reporters in St. George's. I think it was a day or two ago. But let's hear from Nicholas Puran.
Nicholas, just on behalf of all the media present, I want to say thank you for taking time out to be here with us today. And on behalf of the organization and the team, I want to say thanks to all the media for being with us. The actual only indication of a question that I'm seeing is from Rai Rikomas. And I just want to encourage everyone that's a part of today's meeting that the focus will be on the upcoming T20 series and our preparation for the T20 World Cup. We will not be encouraging questions outside of that viewpoint. Please proceed, Rai.
Hi, good afternoon to you, Nicholas. Good afternoon to everyone logged on to the Zoom meeting. First things first, just as we're heading into the series, what can you say about preparations from the team in terms of what has been done and the confidence levels heading into this series? If you'll allow me to ask my second question, or if you prefer to answer, then I'll ask again.
I'll answer first and then you can ask. Again, good afternoon to everyone. Personally, I think the confidence from the group is very good. We have all our senior players back. With the inclusion of Russell, I think we have the most excited T20 players in the world back together in one team. A lot of teams would love a team like this. Players like this. So from a confidence, everyone is gelling really good. We had 3 good practice sessions in Grenada here. The weather has been kind to us as well. So we are thankful for that, and the confidence is good.
And my second question to you, Nicholas, Dario, if you would allow me to ask it, first of all, the question is, looking ahead to the series now and looking back on the journey that you have taken personally, Nicholas, from 2015 to now going into this series, you've come a long way personally. And it serves as inspiration for a lot of other persons out there who may be going through some tough times. What can you say you've learned about that journey between 2015 and now? And what advice can you give to persons out there who may be feeling sort of down and out these days? Dario, if you'd allow me to ask that question, I'd appreciate it.
Proceed, Nicholas.
Yeah, I've learned a lot personally. Obviously, I can't say everything, but to me, it was all about my goal at the end of the day. As a youngster, my dream was to play professional cricket, and I had to make a decision from a young age whether I want to, balance both academics and sports, or go either direction. So to me, it was finding a way, believing in myself, believing in my God, finding a way to, to make it back. Every single day, every week, I was doing therapy, I started to see improvements, and that is all I needed. Honestly, that's all I needed from a motivational point of view. That just kept me going. So, advice to anyone who's going through something similar to me, even worse than me. At the end of the day, you just need to believe in yourself. No one is gonna believe in you. First of all, once you can believe in yourself, then that's most important to me.
All right, thanks, Rai. We'll move on to two questions from Lennox Aldred. Lennox, please proceed.
Thank you, Dario. Blessings, Nicholas. How you doing?
All good.
All right. Two questions here. The first one, right off the bat, I don't think you had that such a great IPL, but coming into this series, what do you think you have done to kind of work out those kings and looking to kick on for the West Indies?
Yeah, I didn't get the scores I wanted in the IPL, this year, but things happen. It's a part of cricket. But things that just happen. It's a part of cricket. It's life. We all have our down times. But to me, it's just keeping it simple. Again, believing myself, back in my skills and my ability. To me, it's just about going out there and enjoying the game. At the end of the day, I don't want to put too much of pressure on myself. I could be training just as hard as anyone else in the world, and things just not going my way. So the key is just to keep it simple, believe in yourself, and just go out there and enjoy the game.
Okay, so it appears we had some problems there from that seems to be from the source. You know, um, hopefully I try to get that resolved and see if we can, get it back up again. But Nicholas Puran, basically, the vice captain, speaking um, specifically on the T20 international with West Indies and South Africa. That's coming up. While we see if we can get it back up there, let me see some comments. Renel is saying, totally agree from Grenada, but grew up in Trinidad, and hopefully, as you said, that we see all games on television. Yes, at least the women, we can get some focus on the women. That's the point that's been made. Um, you know, um, I think, as we say too many times, it's just the focus is just on the men, and not much on the women who have been doing pretty much good. Okay, and we'll go back to I think we'll go back to him shortly. But she's saying also, yes, very dangerous player. He has most runs for South Africa versus West Indies and catches. But the problem there, Janelle, is the consistency. I think that is what a lot of folks have been talking about. They need more consistency from West Indies players, and if only they can get some, a bit of consistency, well, then that will be good. Okay. And let me see, my boy Toro, as always, adding something. Toro is saying, anybody wants to bet on the series, you pick West Indies Bascom, you and Harold and Miss Betty Ann. Take up the bet now. Well, Toro, I'll bet you on this one. I think I'll bet you on this one. I think West Indies has a very good chance. In fact, I think they're going into that T20 international series as the favorite. There's no if and but about it, okay? And if you're really serious about a bet, I think we can go at it. But in all fairness, I think the West Indies, they're going into the series as the hot favorite. Let's see if we can, well, not so much rejoin, but see if we can get that most likely from the start. I think it will be from the start once again to hear what Nicholas Puran had to say.
Nicholas, just on behalf of all the media present, I want to say thank you for taking time out to be here with us today. And on behalf of the organization and the team, I want to say thanks to all the media for being with us. The actual only indication of a question that I'm seeing is from Rai Rikomas. And I just want to encourage everyone that's a part of today's meeting that the focus will be on the upcoming T20 series and our preparation for the T20 World Cup. We will not be encouraging questions outside of that viewpoint. Please proceed, Rai.
All right, good afternoon to you, Nicholas. Good afternoon to everyone logged on to the Zoom meeting. First things first, just as we're heading into this series, what can you say about preparations from the team in terms of what has been done and the confidence levels heading into this series? If you'll allow me to ask my second question, or if you prefer to answer, then I'll ask again.
I'll answer first and then you can ask. Again, good afternoon to everyone. Personally, I think the confidence from the group is very good. We have all our senior players back. With the inclusion of Russell, I think we have the most excited T20 players in the world back together in one team. A lot of teams would love a team like this, players like this. So from a confidence, everyone is gelling really good. We had 3 good practice sessions in Grenada here. The weather has been kind to us as well. So we are thankful for that, and the confidence is good.
And my second question to you, Nicholas, Dario, if you would allow me to ask it, first of all, the question is, looking ahead to the series now and looking back on the journey that you have taken personally, Nicholas, from 2015 to now going into this series, you've come a long way personally. And it serves as inspiration for a lot of other persons out there who may be going through some tough times. What can you say you've learned about that journey between 2015 and now? And what advice can you give to persons out there who may be feeling sort of down and out these days? Dario, if you'd allow me to ask that question, I'd appreciate it.
Proceed, Nicholas.
Yeah, I've learned a lot personally. Obviously, I can't say everything, but to me, it was all about my goal at the end of the day. As a youngster, my dream was to play professional cricket. And, I had to make a decision from a young age whether I want to, balance both academics and sports or either go either direction. So to me, it was finding a way, believing in myself, believing in my God, finding a way to, to make it back. Every single day, every week, when I was doing therapy, I started to see improvements, and that is all I needed. Honestly, that's all I needed from a motivational point of view. That just kept me going. To advise to anyone who's going through something similar to me, even worse than me, at the end of the day, you just need to believe in yourself. No one is gonna believe in you, first of all. Once you can believe in yourself, then that's most important to me.
All right, thanks, Rai. We'll move on to 2 questions from Lennox Aldred. Lennox, please proceed.
Thank you, Dario. Blessings, Nicholas. How are you doing?
All good.
All right. 2 questions here. The first one, right off the bat, I don't think you had that such a great IPL, but coming into this series, what do you think you have done to kind of work out those Kings and looking to kick on for the West Indies?
Yeah, I didn't get the scores I wanted in the IPL, this year, but things happen. It's actually batting 1 ball, 2 balls, even no balls. But things like this happen. It's a part of cricket, it's life, we all have our down times. But to me, it's just keeping it simple. Again, believing in myself, backing my skills and my ability. To me, it's just about going out there and enjoying the game. At the end of the day, I don't want to put too much pressure on myself. I could be training just as hard as anyone else in the world, and things just not going my way. So the key for me is just, taking this opportunity because, again, I'm fortunate to be playing cricket. I'm not going to dwell on the past. I'm not going to think about, okay, I'm feeling my confidence is low, whatever the case is. That's not the case with me. I am a player that is full of confidence. I have full confidence in my ability. So from me, what you'll expect or what you'll see is someone who is thankful for the opportunity again and just happy to go out there and perform to my best ability to make my fans and West Indian fans happy.
Right. My last question. The Test boys didn't do so well in the middle with the bat. Do you think the team that we have in this T20 team can actually really put up some good scores against the South Africa team?
Yeah, I believe once we do our jobs right, we're gonna get rewards at the end of the day. Again, we have the best T20 players in the world, no doubt about it. But once we can play our roles exactly what the team is required from us, there's no doubt that we will put up some scores. It's not guaranteed, but once we do the right things, then we're giving ourselves the best chance to put some scores on the board.
All right, respect, man.
Shalani Beckles.
Hi, good day. Thanks, Dario. Good day, Nicholas. We are heading into an important stretch for the West Indies. Quite a few series heading into the T20 World Cup. Speak to me of the importance of trying to peak and show form at the right time in 2021.
Yeah, it's very
Thank you.
important. Sorry. Yes, it's very important for us. I think we pick our best 18 provisional squad. It's important for us just to get a momentum, get our fans back on our back again. We want the full support of West Indian, the Caribbean people. I just believe that we are building towards the World Cup and we have to function as a team. Everyone know how good Chris Gayle is, at Russell, at Pollard, Dwayne Bravo, and the rest of the guys. But at the end of the day, if we can believe in each other, that is really important for us. I think we have 3 series before the World Cup, and it's been a while. We've been together for a long time, so we have chance to mingle, we have chance to look out for each other, we have chance to learn about someone better. So to me, it's not all about the cricket, but it's how much we could look out for each other, how much we can be a team. At the end of the day, you don't win a World Cup by one person performing or two-person performing. It's by everyone playing their part, and that's our key. Our key is to look after each other, be as honest as we can with each other, and then the results on the field will take care of itself. Because at the end of the day, we all want to perform, we all want to win. But I know the team is putting in a lot of work. Everyone is doing what is required, but we're not focusing on the results. We're focusing on what we can control, and that's just looking out for each other, being honest, working as hard as we can, and everything else will take care of itself.
Okay, thank you.
Ian Wasson.
Yes, good afternoon. Thank you very much. Well, the fans are coming out in Grenada. That provisions have been made for the fans to come out in Grenada. How important is that, seeing that we've played a lot of our cricket home series behind closed doors? You would have experienced some crowds in the IPL. How important are the crowds? What role they have to play in this series against South Africa, especially since the test series didn't went the way we wanted it to go?
Yeah, fans are gonna play an important role. It's been a while we've played in front of our home fans. To be honest, we are looking forward to it. That fans bring that extra energy for us. At the end of the day, we are entertainers, and with the fans being back in the stadium, especially Canadian fans as well. We know how much they love their cricket as well, and they're gonna come out and support us regardless. So we wanna put on a show for these guys, and hopefully, we can make them smile and leave Grenada with a smile on our face and a smile on their faces as well.
And thank you very much.
2 questions from Akeem Green.
Hi, Nick. This is the second or third time I stand to be corrected that you've been appointed a vice captain. Tell us about that learning experience of potentially captaining the side years down, and we've been talking to Polly about and the rest of the management about leadership.
Yeah, I'm very thankful for the opportunity, especially being a young guy with a team full of, when I was growing up, I look up to Bravo, Gill, look at these guys on TV. And it's a wonderful opportunity that I'm getting here, especially at the T20 format. We have Pollard who played the most amount of games, Gill who has the most T20 runs, Bravo most amount of wickets. It's a wonderful opportunity for me, not only to learn from Pollard, but from the rest of the other guys. And it's an opportunity that anyone would want. Just learning how to deal with different types of people, different cultures. We as West Indians, we come from different islands, so we need to understand each other culture first of all, and it's a good opportunity for me. So I just look into learn as much as I can from Polly, Chris, Russell, Prav, everyone. So if there's an opportunity for me to captain a team eventually going down the road, then I'll be ready then. So for me now it's just to absorb as much as I can, and be the best leader, be the best vice captain I can be to Paulie at the moment.
A minimum of 15 more T20 matches for West Indies before they head into that World Cup. I know you spoke about gelling as a group, but from on field perspective, have you pinpointed some areas you really think we should begin to work on in these 15 matches? Maybe about getting more singles, rotating the striker or dead bowling. Could you touch on that aspect?
Yeah, as a group we recognize what our downfalls were in the last series. It's been something that happening over the years. We don't rotate strike enough. We bat enough dot balls and then we give our wickets away. That's something we are working on off the field at the moment at the nets. So hopefully in this series we could improve. Rome wasn't built in a day, so hopefully we can see some improvement in this series. From a bowling point of view, eliminating the amount of no balls we bowl and just strengthening our dead bowling. You know, we have we have young Obed McCoy as well, who started his T20 career really good. Hoping that he can learn from Bravo a lot, so we can improve in our dead bowling and even our bowling. We have Fidel back, we have Cottrell back. Hopefully, we can get the right balance in terms of a bowling attack, so we can execute our plans and hopefully we can have that complete T20 team.
All right, I'll move to a question from Jassy. Jassy.
Hey, Nicholas. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to everyone listening in. I must say this has been a very thorough media interaction so far. Really good questions. So much so that my questions have been touched on. But I want to just kind of go back to the question about vice captaincy and get something out of you if I can. Now, you mentioned how much there is to learn from a lot of these guys who you've been around, the Pollards, the Bravos, Chris Gales, Andrew Russells, etc. But even now, you have had your own experiences going to the IPL, going to the Big Bash, um, playing all over the world in this format, especially. How much do you see yourself as a contributor, perhaps getting ideas? Because when you go to all these places, certainly it stimulates your own ideas about the game and your own ideas about tactics, etc. I just found it might be interesting to know how much do you influence, Nicholas, what happens in terms of the discussions, etc. In from that regard, your input.
Yeah, that's a good question, Jazzy. I do have my inputs, especially at batting meetings, bowling meetings as well. I am one who like to listen and learn a lot. Especially in this team, you can't really say much because everything is being said, but it's also important for me to voice my opinion, especially being a wicket keeper as well. So for me, it's simple. I'll try my best to bring the energy from behind the stumps. I can see angles a bit differently from the other players. That's my responsibility. From a batting point of view, we understand what our strengths are. So on this team is all about emphasizing on our strengths. Not dwelling too much on the negatives. But from my point of view, it's tough. It's tough to really, because it's just basically me reiterating what has been said. Because Bravo, the Gale, the Russell, Pollard, they all been in my situation as well. They played, every T20 league in the world. They've probably learned a lot of things that I have already learned. So to me, it's just about, re-emphasizing what these guys are saying.
Yeah, and if I may get in my second question now, the the curtailing of the IPL is surely a bit of a blessing and a curse in the sense of obviously you would have want to compete to the competition then and there. It's gonna resume, but it also offered you a chance to rest. I know the bubble, going from bubble to bubble, and non-stop cricket has been taking a toll on a number of the guys. How have you used your time to sort of refresh yourself and mentally and physically in preparation for what looks so far to be a real hectic second half of the year anyway?
Yeah, getting into the bubble life, it's obviously a challenge. And it's difficult being away from home as well. I, for one, has been on the road for the last 6, 7 months. It definitely took a toll on me. But I got some time home. I got like 3, 4 weeks. I got married, so that's one. But I was given an opportunity to rest, go refresh, and work on my fitness, work on my strength. So hopefully this can do me the world of good as well, and hopefully I can perform to my best ability for West Indies in the next couple of months.
You can't just drop that little bomb there about the marriage, Nicholas, and not tell us how has marriage life been.
Well, so far no complaints, and I want to keep it like that.
All right, thanks, man. All the best.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Jesse. I'm seeing a question, further indication from Balashankar. Balashankar, please proceed with your question.
Good day, Nicholas, and good day to everyone around. First of all, congratulations on getting married. Uh, and my first question is, India and England have been playing with different squads. The ODI team to Sri Lanka is different to the Test team. Now, West Indies have mostly a different squad compared to the Test and the T20s that you are going to play. So, do you think this is going to be the way forward? Teams having different squads entirely for different formats. And if that happens, which format would you please to be part of for the West Indies?
I think going forward, it depends on the quality of players you have. If you don't have quality players, then you'd have to basically play with the same squads over the 3 formats. But if you have a lot of quality players, then teams would definitely split their players up because of this new way of living and the new way of life, which is bubble life. A lot of players would want to rest, want to be with their families. For me, I obviously play T20 cricket and 50 over cricket. I haven't played Test cricket yet, but so far, 50 over cricket, I've appreciated the way of batting in 50 over cricket is something like it's something it's an opportunity I've taken because there's much more time to bat as well. I don't need to be, super aggressive all the time. So at the moment, 50 over cricket is definitely one that I really enjoy batting in.
Balashankar, I'm not sure if the next question will hold more relevancy to the series and the upcoming summer of T20 cricket for the West Indies. However, please proceed if so. Sorry, we're not hearing you.
In the recent past have had a bit of a struggle against West spinners when compared to facing the pace bowlers. Is there any special preparation facing spin, especially considering that the World Cup is going to be in the subcontinent?
Yeah, in the past we did have some, problems with batting with spin. We do know that for a fact. It's conversations that we are having in the dressing room, and hopefully we can, find a way to, work it out. So hopefully from this series you can see a difference. As I say, we don't really focus too much on the negatives, to be honest. It's T20 cricket. It's all about finding a way. So hopefully we can find a way and we can move forward.
All right, thanks to everyone for being a part of today's first official T20 press conference. Nicholas, on behalf of everyone that joined, I just want to say thanks for making yourself available.
Yeah, well, I must say, folks, that I really enjoyed that interaction with Nicholas Puran, and just a little from a journalistic point of view, media point of view, just a little brushing up. But I thought, as a young man, well spoken, handled the questions well, and I think the future is bright for this guy, and I really enjoyed that discussion. In fact, I could have listened to him for the entire day. I thought he was taking the questions and answering it to the best of his ability, as for a young developing guy. I thought he handled pretty much well. So that was Nicholas Puran, the vice captain. So as indicated that West Indies won the toss, elected to bowl, and they are going with the Andre Fletcher, Evan Lewis, Chris Gale, Nicholas Pruan as a wicketkeeper, Karen Pollard as a captain, Andre Russell, Dwayne Bravo, Jason Holder, Fabian Allen, Obi McCoy, and Kevin Sinclair. That's the lineup for West Indies. And there's also for the South Africans, you have Quinton de Kock as the wicketkeeper, Reza Hendricks, Temba Bavuma is the captain, Rassi van der Zozen. Klassen is there, David Miller, who will become South Africa's most capped player. George Lind is also in the team. Kagiso Rabada, Norte is there, as well as Shamsi. So South Africa is going in with also a very strong team. So once again, the West Indies won the toss and they elected to bowl, well, to field, as we would say. The match should get started shortly. But as I indicated yesterday, the captain, Karen Pollard, he also spoke to the media, and let's hear what Karen Pollard had to say.
On behalf of all the journalists, all the media houses present, I just want to say thank you for taking time out to be here today. And on behalf of the organization and the team here on the ground, I just want to say thanks to all the journalists for making yourselves available. We're going to officially begin today's engagement with two questions from Mr. Akeem Green. Akeem, please proceed.
Hi, good afternoon, Polly. Don't know how much you're a fan of rankings, but South Africa are 6th and you guys are 10th, but they have lost their last 4 T20 series. Do you think that in itself, and given the quality of the West Indies squad, you guys will be heading in as favorites in this series?
Again, to be honest, I've said it before. When you look at the ranking and where we rank right now, there are different things that has happened between the last World Cup winning team 2016 till now, hence the reason why we ranked at number 10. So for me, I don't look much into that, and it's about how we play our cricket and how we want to play our cricket going forward in the future. One thing about South Africa, yes, they're ahead of us. They're confident because, some of the guys might have played in that test series, and, they beat us, 2-0, so they've come in full of confidence, and, we already started on the back foot as well. So, that's fine, but we're just looking forward to, trying to play good cricket and trying to improve on what we started in that last series against Sri Lanka.
You have spoken passionately about Shimon Hetmeyer. I know you guys have had some time in Grenada preparing. Could you tell us the conversation, the advice you're giving to young Hetty about how Betty can use his potential and convert it and, become the cricketer that we all want him to be?
In all honesty, as much as I want to tell you some of the conversations we've been having, some things, sometimes are better left unsaid, and some things are better, when it happens on a personal level. So, for us, we have been having those sort of conversation of what we expect, from Hetty and, what we want, from him. And we know some of his goals and some of the things that he wants to achieve as well. So we're always willing and ready, to help him in that aspect of it. So as I said before, as an individual, anything that you do, you need to want it more than anything else. So, conversations has been good, camaraderie has been, fantastic, as well. And it's just a matter of, getting opportunities and coming out and show, what he's made of.
Rai Rikomas.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Afternoon to you, Polly. Yesterday with Nicholas, we spoke a little bit about the weaknesses that need work and what you all have been working on in training behind the scenes. But I wanted to ask you specifically about the strengths that you think this West Indies squad has going into this match, this series, and World Cup preparations. I also have a second question. If you'd like, you can answer this one first, so I can ask it one time.
No, go ahead. Let me know the second question. I'll answer the one before.
Sure. So the second question has to do about Sunil Narayan's availability as you all complete the preparations for the World Cup. There are 2 series after this, at least, in terms of T20 internationals. What can you tell us about his availability for the squad? That's it. Thanks.
Yeah. On the first question, in terms of our strength, is no secret. our power hitting ability, being able to clear the boundaries and, use our strength and our power. That's our biggest strength, and we continue to harness our strengths, and we continue to work on our weaknesses, as Puran might have mentioned yesterday. So again, in everything that you do, you try to improve, and we're trying to improve as a team and as individuals. But we also know, in terms of timings, where you want to work on certain things. You don't want to, say for instance, for example, you want a power hitter trying to turn a ball for a single because we don't rotate strike as good as we can, or we should, and getting out, trying just to go for a single. So it's understanding the situation, understanding what is needed, and hopefully over time, these things come into our games. On the second question, Narayan, he had indicated to the selectors before that he might have been available, after the IPL. Obviously, the IPL was cut short, halfway through. So I'm guessing that he might not have, got the necessary preparation or, confident in his action, sort of just yet or whatever. So I think he indicated as well that he's still not ready. And, that we'll play that by ear as we go along. But I think, our main focus should always be in the present and what we have at present. And we have an 18-man squad, looking to prepare, for that big tournament come October.
Jerome Foster, one question.
Yeah, afternoon, Kyron, and afternoon to everybody. In terms of the squad, a lot of noise has been made. I'm not sure if you have heard any. Really the age of the squad, and most importantly, the key components of the squad. Any reasons to doubt the process that you guys are trying to implement in terms of trying to defend this title with core players like Chris Gayle and people like Fidel and Dwayne Bravo in the team? Any issues with the age and so on, with the complaints swirling about?
Well, obviously we won't have any complaints as it pertains to that, because we have selected them. As opposed to the noise that we're hearing, yes, we hear it. Yes, we hear you guys, sometimes loud and clear. But then, when you look at it, from a logical perspective, if you go with only youngsters, then there'll still be noise. No matter what you do, there's going to be noise, right? So I think it's what's best for us and what we think is best for us, going into a tournament, like that. And, if these guys, can be assets, towards us, why not, get an opportunity to use the little bit of experience or the little bit of cricket they might have, sort of left in them. So again, everything is in a situation whereas, we're just trying to pick the best team and pick the best players. Some of these guys play around the world, and we get the opportunity to see them around the world and then wonder why they're not playing for us. But then when we select them, we ask the questions, why are we selecting them as well? So you're damn if you do, you're damn if you don't. But we focus on what we think is right, for us, and on the right combinations. And you just average out the age instead of looking at the older ones and the younger ones, and we get a pretty average age, and we go and play cricket.
All right, Kyle.
All right, Brandon Collette, 2 questions, please.
Hi, good afternoon, Captain. What has been Kevin Sinclair's body language during the training camp? And is Sinclair a key bowler heading into the World Cup, playing that Badri-like type of role, bowling the new ball?
See, again, as soon as the youngsters we start to categorize them and start to put them against guys who would have played before. He's a young guy coming in, just getting international experience. I think he has been good around the group. The senior guys has been helping him, around pretty well. And again, everyone is important, for us from this 18-man squad, going into the World Cup. And, guys who are out might have a chance of getting in as well. So we're not going to individualize and say how important or put any sort of importance on any one individual, because this is supposed to be a team. But as I said, as to Kevin, I think he has, gelled well with the guys, and, guys are looking out for each other. So, hopefully the necessary experience that he gains here, we'll see what happens, later down in the year. But it's just a matter of him continuing to grow as an individual, and let us not try to now, board him in the mode of, a Badri and a this and a that. Let's just keep it at Kevin Sinclair.
All right, thanks, man.
I'm seeing 2 further indications of questions. To be honest, I think we'll have time to take 2 more. However, if there's nothing lingering, that's quite fine with us. Ian Wasson, please proceed.
Good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Skip, we have the test team just being beaten and and they couldn't even pass 175 in the test series. Now, these bowlers are retained for South Africa. We have Ngidi still here, Rabada, Nortia, and those players. How confident? We know the T20 team different, almost different entirely team. How confident are the West Indies T20 batsmen to have a better showing against these same bowlers? I have one question. I'll ask the other question after.
Yeah, I think we're pretty confident. The good thing about it is that when they play the test series, they play with a red ball, and that moves a lot. And this one we're playing with a white ball. So I think, the guys, as we sort of call them, T20 specialists and, white ball cricketers, I think we are a lot confident, in going into the series. A lot of guys would have played, against, the Rabadas and the Norcays and delays and the Cocks and stuff like that. So familiarity, can work, for us as well. But every day is a new day. Whereas the test team, some of the guys would have been facing, these individuals who are world-class bowlers for the first time. So it takes a while. So again, for me, honestly, let's not try to come down too hard on them and try to put the bowlers on a pedestal. Yes, they are good bowlers, but at the end of the day, we need to play cricket, and hopefully we can play and, overcome the challenges. And at least we can say that our West Indian batters, were able to compete, with these world-class bowlers, as you guys put them on the pedestal now, because they just won, a series.
Right, and of course, we know there's a lot of cricket coming up. We have the Pakistan series after this one, Australia, the CPL, and these things. Is there talk of player management and rotation? We're going to see players coming in different series, players being rested and things like that?
Let's wait and see. At the end of the day, we can talk about that. But then if we start to talk about rest and rotation, then guys will be, written. We'll have articles about winning and losing as well. So, for us, let's focus one game at a time. At the end of the day, for us, one of the biggest things, winning is very, very important, and creating that sort of winning culture. And we see how that, plays along. Again, we have some plans. Again, sometimes not everything is to be aired, out in public as much as you guys, want to be in what is going on. But, as soon as you guys decide to be on our side for a long period of time, you'll be privy to a lot more information.
All right, thanks.
Lennox Aldred, please proceed.
Yeah, man, Skip. Blessings, man. How are you do?
I'm all right, man. How are you?
Give thanks. Good, man. A two-part question pretty much I want to ask you. We had a few nail-biters against Sri Lanka in the last series. I mean, the preparation that we had in Grenada here, you think that will allow us to perform, a little better and not have the Caribbean fans chewing their nails?
What you prefer? Chewing your nails and we coming out on the losing end, or chewing your nails and we winning?
Well, as long as we win, but it's not always good for our hearts,
Well, in all honesty, not good for ours either. It puts a lot of pressure, on us in those situations. But at the end of the day, as I said just now, winning is very, very important to us. And, over a period of time, some of these nail-biting games, we would have ended up on the losing side and we'd have left with our heads down. So it's good to see that, the guys are showing that sort of character, wanting to win and the will to win despite the scenario and the situation. So we're hoping that, the preparation that we had for the last week or 10 days or so is going to help us and will be good stead. And, hopefully we can, start the series well and, go on to actually win the series. But it's about the process and about the preparation and hopefully going out and, playing and executing the things that, we know that we should be doing.
Right. And the second part, the red ball guys got a hiding. You think we're pretty much going to avenge them in this series?
Let's not go to avenge on whatever the case is. Let's just keep it as, I said, calm as possible. Let's keep it as, we play in a series and what is done is done. I know, and we know the reality is that South Africa is going to come into the series with a different level, of, confidence. Whereas when they came to the Caribbean before, they hadn't won a series in, how many years, and they were in that rebuilding phase. So again, hopefully, I said, I sometimes sit down and hope that, when we win series like that, you guys, despite how we win it, put us on that pedestal and continue to, sort of support us and, give us that confidence going into different series rather than sometimes, thinking about what just transpired. So hopefully we can give you guys an opportunity and, write some positive things for us.
All right. Blessings.
Zahir Clark.
Good day, Skipper.
Good day.
I want to ask you a question about Akil Hussein. As someone who has seen him firsthand performing for the Trinbago Knight Riders, can you speak to his growth as a cricketer, especially in the white ball format, the T20?
Yeah, Akil, you'd have seen him, playing for Trinidad. Obviously, I've seen him playing club cricket, and since he was a young guy, for me, it's exciting to see, the work that these guys put in and getting the opportunity now to represent the Caribbean, on the world stage. Because, from a personal level, we know how bad, he wants it, how bad he wants it to make it in cricket and in international cricket as well. And getting that opportunity now, I think he's just soaking in, a lot of information and trying to come on the field and try to execute that and show what he's made of. It has been a topsy-turvy kind of up and down for him throughout the regional career and whatever, but he has had a decent start in international cricket, and he has laid that sort of foundation, playing 5-6 ODI games. Has not gotten a chance in the T20s, just yet. But as you can see, he has a lot to offer. So with the environment that we try to create, hopefully he can, soak in a lot. And when that time comes for him to deliver on the cricket field, he's able to go out and deliver and, do his family, his parents, and the Caribbean proud.
Thank you, Kev.
Balashankar.
Good afternoon, Skipper.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I have two questions. I think I can ask it together so that you can answer it both together. Over the years, West Indies has been a bit more successful in ICC T20 tournaments compared to bilateral T20 internationals, especially when you take the win-loss ratio and all. What do you think could be the reason, and how are you trying to change that as a skipper in this format? And secondly, you have already answered about the squad rotation policy. Not wanting to divulge a lot, but just trying to understand with this 3 bilateral series coming up, how much are you focused in trying to find out a successful 11 and winning those bilateral series, and rather than trying to keep the players ready, trying out the players for the World Cup coming up?
To answer your first question, if you say our ratio in ICC tournaments is good, I wouldn't want to change that, first of all. So we won't change that. Again, it's just a matter when it comes to these sort of series, having the guys available and having the right environment, for the guys to perform, and, having that sort of team over a period of time. Hence the reason why when it comes to the World Cups, more often than not, we tend to get, the guys that we want to playing for various different reasons. So I wouldn't want to change that. I want to continue that trend, especially being defending champions. So that's just to answer the first part. And opposed to the other one, for us, again, I think we focus on winning. As we go along, we play in sports, you might have injuries. But in terms of, what we are looking at, as a team and as a management or selection group, I think we have a certain amount of, faith in the guys and what they can do. And we have a certain plan as what we're actually looking for. So it's just a bit of fine tuning and tweaking, but hence the reason why, with COVID times, we have 18 and, hopefully guys get opportunities, but we want to win and we want to be able to have that feeling, of winning more often than not, rather than just think of just squad rotation and rotating players. You want guys to get comfortable in positions and playing the role and actually being accountable, for their position in the team as well. So as I said, we'll see how that goes. But my thing is to try to keep everything positive and, hopefully we can win some games and, take it from there.
Thank you. All the best for the series.
And to end today's engagement, we'll have one further question from Mr. Colin Benjamin.
Hey, what's up, Skip?
Right.
Just taking you back a little bit. Obviously, last time we played South Africa, yourself, Chris, Russell, Cottrell, to name a few, played in the game when we chased on the highest ever T20 score in a period when West Indies were like unbeaten in T20 series for like a 4-year period. So as we go into this series and this 15-game run, as skipper, how much are you looking forward to bringing back that energy from the Sammy era? And what are your memories of that famous run chase?
The memories of the run chase, I think that would have been in Johannesburg, if I'm not mistaken. But to remember the details of that game, And I can't remember, I think Marlon or Chris would have gotten some runs, or both of them have gotten some runs as well. So it's always good to come out on the winning side, and it's always good to chase, sort of big totals, like that. So, for me, it's just about, having the guys, pumped up, having the guys understanding what is required, and going out and, execute and be themselves. At the end of the day, these guys, play around the world, and, we win tournaments in different places and are successful as we go around. So we want to be successful as a maroon outfit. And, as I said, the start of that Sri Lanka series, the character shown in the start and in the end, hopefully we can just build on that and see if we can string some wins together so we can have that confidence, going into the World Cup stage. Again, we continue to plan for World Cup. Last year we were planning and we had no World Cup. So that's why sometimes I try to just stay in the present. So what is presently in front of us now is these 5-match series against South Africa. And then we'll see what happens with Australia. And then we see what happens with Pakistan.
All right, thanks, Colin. And thanks to all of you for taking time out of your schedule to be with us today. And thanks to you, Skipper, for answering the questions.
Thank you.
Everyone, enjoy the rest of your day. As mentioned.
Yes, so that was Skipper, as we say in cricket, what's it? Karen Pollard, yeah, and the West Indies already, but started with Sinclair, and then Holder as the bowlers, the attack bowlers, and as we indicated, South Africa, the batting. West Indies won the toss and decided to field first, and they will be, most likely chasing after South Africa. Now, just hope the weather holds up in Grenada. And Toro, I've been getting some of your comments for some hot and favorite awards that haven't been associated with the West Indies men's cricket for a long time. And then he says, Mr. Man, go and win, and all you go get positive coverage. The media have nothing to do with West Indies. Wrong, losing street. Well, Toro, and to just make sure that I know your dog usually uses these international sporting events to, showcase, leaving all the the carnage and coming all the way up to Queen's Park to be on television. Make sure your dogs are tied and, no interruption, okay? Toro. Okay, so we heard from Courtney Walsh and Anne Brown-John on West Indies women's cricket. As you know, West Indies the women's cricket team will be playing against Pakistan, starting from the 30th, which is next weekend. And then we also heard from Nicholas Pooran, the West Indies vice captain, who is actually the wicketkeeper today in the game. And then we just heard from Karen Pollard, the captain, giving us a whole synopsis about the T20 series. Very good interviews. And just hoping that, the team will provide some sort of relief for West Indies fans. I know West Indies just love winning, but there's hope that, there can be some relief for West Indies fans. Just a quick scene 19 without lost into the third over and South Africa. So I will give fans the opportunity to go support West Indies cricket, as we say, rally around West Indies, check in on your favorite streaming apps, your station, wherever you are, to view the cricket, the first T20 international. And mind you that do have I think it's the second one, if I'm not mistaken, if I can just get the schedule up, because there is the specials on for folks in Grenada, not only if you're fully vaccinated, but you have the opportunity to go out and, buy, I think, special rates. I think it's $50, if I'm not mistaken. And then they have the a package where you can, it's 5 matches, so you can probably buy a package for all 5 matches. But just to let you know, the first game is on today, Saturday, And then the second T20 international is scheduled for Sunday, is it? Sunday? Yeah, I'm seeing Sunday. And then there's another, the third T20 international will be on Tuesday. So there isn't any, so we have back-to-back Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, and then on to Tuesday. And then there is one on Thursday, and that's the fourth, and the fifth and final is scheduled for next Saturday. Also at the, all matches will be played at the National Cricket Stadium in St. George's. So, folks, you have lots of cricket for the week. Saturday, Sunday, you have on Tuesday, you have on Thursday, and you have on Saturday. You have the opportunity to go out and support West Indies cricket and look at cricket. You know, it's been quite a while you haven't seen live cricket at the stadium in St. George's. So that's it, folks, for this week. I thank you for being part of our program and look forward to you being in company on Thursday for another of our sports program where we'll be speaking with more, well, hopefully on Thursday we'll be able to talk a bit about the matches that were played, you know, but other than that, as it appears that, you know, West Indies, as we said, going in as I'll use the words, Toro, I know you love it, hot favorite, West Indies against South Africa in the T20 series. And those of you who follow the cricket, don't forget that the women next week will also be playing, and you also have the opportunity to support them. If there's any information regarding television coverage or streaming or whatever, I'll make it available as well. So thank you for viewing, and do have yourself a pleasant weekend.